This kind of felt like one of those nights at the plate where you were making a lot of solid contact, didn't have a lot to show for it. I guess just what are your overall thoughts on the plate approach tonight?
Well, first of all, I'm thankful for the crowd. What a crowd, huh? Like, man, apologize we couldn't get to win tonight, but what an awesome crowd. Appreciate all the fans being here. A weird game offensively. We had 11 lineouts. I told our team I don't know the last time I played in a game where we were smashing balls. And we had 11 lineouts. And, obviously it's hard to score runs, but when you line out 11 times, I told him, I said, I'll never get onto you for hitting rockets, but it was tough to score.
You continue to brag on Travis all season. What can you say about what was probably his best outing of the year?
Yeah, Travis, he's just been getting better, every week. And gave us a chance. I hated it that we couldn't get the win, especially for him because of the way he pitched. And but last week you saw a good outing, but this was his best outing, and kept an offense, a really good offense, at bay. But I thought we had some other guys. I thought Ryan Hagen out to get him back out there was really big and important for our team. Well, obviously, he hadn't pitched. He's thrown one inning in the last 10 games, so it was good to get him back out there and get him going. I thought Ryder Giles was fantastic. So good to get some of those guys back out there, but Travis's best outing of his career.
As you guys have hit a little bit of adversity here, you know what the schedule is, how daunting it is coming up. How do you keep your guys from pressing too much?
Yeah, the thing I've bragged about this team over and over is they don't press. Like, they're really good at just focusing on the task at hand. And you saw that tonight. We had great at-bats. We hit our quality percent goal. We had great at-bats, and unfortunately some of those balls didn't land. But this team hasn't pressed. They haven't panicked. It's why we've been able to come back in so many games, because they don't press and they don't panic, and nor do I expect them to do that.
Obviously it's fresh, but Vandy, looking ahead, what kind of challenge is that going to be, and then making sure to win a series after starting strong but losing 3 straight series.
Our league is crazy. What happened last weekend? You just look around at all the sweeps and things like that. Obviously we've played there before. I don't know how many guys we even have on our team that have been there. We go down to LSU, and I asked the guys, hey, how many of you guys have ever played here? And 2 guys raised their hand. I go, okay. And I'm sitting there thinking, how many in a Kentucky uniform? 0. So it'll be a new environment against a really good team. But I said this over and over. This is why these guys came to Kentucky, is to play in the greatest league in America against some really good teams. So we got 4 really important series left, all against quality teams. That's the beauty of our league. And we'll do what we've been doing, and we'll just go one game at a time.
How important is it to get crowds like this down the stretch, especially with the quality of competition you're going to play here this last month?
Oh, yeah. I told our team at the beginning of the year that we have some amazing fans. And you guys know this, the weather in the beginning of the year can be a real challenge. And don't take the crowds. Don't think that's what it's going to be all year. If we get good weather, we start winning some ball games, and the Big Blue Nation's awesome. You saw this. Did Matt say that was the largest crowd in the history of Kentucky baseball?
Yeah.
So we've been playing baseball for 120 years. Let that sink in, and we just had the greatest crowd. So they make a huge impact. I'm really thankful for them and their support, and even for our guys, for them to run out, because there's a lot of places we go on the weekends, as you guys know, and there's a lot of people at those games. So it means a lot to have this many people, out here supporting our guys, and I know it means the world to them too.
You mentioned the lineouts earlier, and sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the other team. But King in center field tracked down probably half of those.
Yeah,
played a really good defensive game.
Yeah, give them a lot of credit. You hit line drives, it's one thing, but then you got to your point, you got to run and catch them, and they did a really good job of that. They hit some balls hard, and we did the same thing. But that was a good defensive effort on their part, really on both teams. I thought when you sat there and you looked, it was a well defensive played game on both sides.
How would you describe just hanging out where he's at right now? Obviously, there was an opportunity Saturday in that game too, that top of the 9th, but then he finds a spot here. Only goes 1 inning though. Was that the plan, or not to push him and throw him 2? Was that a thought too?
Yeah, we've just been trying to get him back healthy and feeling good and strong, and for us tonight, we're just going to get him 1 inning, and to get him back out there to help our team. And man, I give him a big old hug, because we need that guy, and he's our dugout captain. I mean, that guy does so much for our team, and we're definitely a different team when he's on the mound.
So obviously the result of tonight's game was disappointing, but have you learned anything about your team or your players in this process in these difficult games?
The one thing they do is, I've said this over and over, but they don't panic. Like, they really believe that we can win every game. And you know what? That's a sign of their maturity. Even in that game right there into the 8th and 9th, they really felt like we could mount a comeback. And that's a good thing. But, I'd like to see us get off to a good start, this weekend. I think it's important when you go on the road to get off to a good start. And but it'll start on the mound for us and defensively. But, again, I just can't say enough good things about Travis Smith tonight. I mean, that was electric stuff. I mean, that was some really high-end stuff, and proud of him. He's worked really hard.
Have you thought about Travis's plans for when the postseason comes, maybe moving him to the bullpen, something like that?
Hunter, that's a good question, but I've really just tried to focus on, the right here and right now and not get too far down the road, And for Travis, I got to keep reminding myself, I mean, he's a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman, And, our whole goal for him is just for him to just keep learning, growing, and improving. And, he's done that. And, what happens with him moving forward, I don't know. But we're going to keep him right there for now until something changes. And just want him to just keep building. I want him to build off of this, and then the next week get a little better and move on to that. Yeah.
Obviously, it's just one game, but beating them, it means more. Playing Louisville, and to only get one game against them probably this year and last year too is tough to not get more cracks at them. But what needs to change just to get more success in that series? Obviously, beating Louisville is important. Yeah,
it is important, and the last 2 years there's just things that were out of our control. To be able to get that second game in, and I wish that we could get that second game in last year and this year, but unfortunately we won't. And those things are, obviously out of our control. But it's why we do a home and home, because it's so important to each program in our state. Yeah.
Just whether it be Ruben or Chase, how important is someone stepping up in those DH at-bats over the course of the season and maybe taking that control of that starting spot?
Yeah, that is one spot in our lineup that's kind of been up for grabs, And we've tried a bunch of different guys. We've even, put Kendall in there. He's gotten opportunities there. So that's as we continue to look at what we're doing there, we just keep working with the guys. And, I give our guys a lot of credit. The way they go about all their business, they're locked in, they're ready to go. And Kendall's been ready. Stanky's been ready. Swinging about as good as anybody in batting practice, things like that. So we'll just keep evaluating that and as the season goes. And I like the fact that we have multiple guys we can use in that spot. I think it says a lot about the depth of our team. Thanks guys.